Hello and welcome back to Bible Wits Bible Corner. Today we are going to finish up Acts chapter 27. I'm going to read verses 37 through 44, starting with the English Standard Version. We were in all 276 persons on the ship, and when they had eaten enough, they lightened the ship, throwing out the wheat into the sea. Now, when it was day, they did not recognize the land, but they noticed a bay with a beach on which they planned, if possible, to run the ship ashore. So they cast off the anchors and left them in the sea, at the same time loosening the ropes that tied the rudders. Then hoisted the foresail in the wind they made and to the wind and made for the beach. But striking a reef, they ran the vessel aground, and the bow struck the remaining the bow struck and remained immovable, and the stern was being broken up by the surf. The soldiers' plan was to kill the prisoners, lest any should swim away and escape. But the centurion, wishing to save Paul, kept them from carrying out their plan. He ordered those who could swim to jump overboard first and make for the land, and the rest on planks or on pieces of the ship. And so it was that all were brought safely to land. New Century Version. There were 276 people on the ship. When they had eaten all they wanted, they began making the ship lighter by throwing the grain into the sea. When daylight came, the sailors saw land. They did not know what land it was, but they saw a bay with a beach and wanted to sail the ship to the beach if they could. So they cut the ropes to the anchors and left the anchors in the sea. At the same time, they untied the ropes that were holding the rudders. Then they raised the front sail into the wind and sailed towards the beach. But the ship hit a sandbank. The front of the ship struck there and could not move, but the back of the ship began to break up from the big waves. The soldiers decided to kill the prisoners so none of them could swim away and escape, but Julius, the officer, wanted to let Paul live and did not allow the soldiers to kill the prisoners. Instead, he ordered everyone who could swim to jump into the water first and swim to land. And the rest were to follow using wooden boards or pieces of the ship, and this is how all the people made it safely to land. Okay. So, with what Paul had said, if everything goes the way he was telling them as to what God told him, no one would die. We have the ship crashing, running aground, breaking apart, and some of the prison guards were afraid that the prisoners would just try to swim away, so they wanted to kill them. Well, that's not what God had planned. God had planned for everyone to survive the shipwreck and go ashore to land. So the centurion intervenes, does not let these prison guards kill the prisoners, and instead makes a plan to get everyone safely ashore. Okay. That's a quick, brief summary. What I would like to get at with this is, again, comparing our Christian walk to a shipwreck or a ship out on sea, or both, it doesn't matter. Comparing our Christian walk to all of this, there's always going to be rough waves crashing against the ship, always going to be rough stuff crashing against us on our Christian walk. There's always going to be the threat of rocks, depending on how close we are to land, so to speak. Running ashore, in other words, the waves, the rocks, running ashore is all sin, if you want to put that into comparison. Now, the quick and easy way to get out of sin, or to not get out of sin, but to just be done with it, is to just give up. Now, that's not what Paul told anyone on this ship to do. He basically had a plan that God told him to get everyone ashore safely. And as Christians, that's what we need to do. We need to have a plan whenever we get hit by these rogue waves, run into coral, sandbar, doesn't matter, get a little too close to the rocks on our journey. We need to have a plan on how to guide ourselves through it so that we could come out on the other side, not unscathed. Sin always leaves a mark, at least to us as humans, because that's what we see. We see the mistakes that we made. That's the mark that sin leaves, is us seeing our mistakes. If we hold true to God and continue to follow God, when we are baptized, our slate is washed clean. And when we ask God for forgiveness, which is going to have to continue to happen after baptism, it is my understanding, again, if I am wrong or if you think I am wrong, please leave it in the comments, but it is my understanding when we ask God for forgiveness, even after baptism, our slate continues to be wiped clean. We just cannot sin willingly, and we cannot sin continually. We're all going to sin. We're all going to fall short, make mistakes. That's the shipwrecks. Focus on God as the ending goal. I hope you find encouragement in this, and I hope you have a wonderful, God-centered day. Bye.